So I've been updating my boss and the constable on my case about court updates and all of that, and how they've yet again got us stall off for another 2 weeks. And I've been thinking a lot today, as one does when things happen in their life. And I couldn't help but think, in all of my relationships that have been abusive, like my father and my exes, and friendships that have been toxic and abusive, if there's ever a moment that you get to where you're like, somebody's gonna save me, something's got to change, this has got to end someday. Someone's coming. Something's gonna come. Something's gonna happen. Something is gonna save me, and something does. And then we get out of these situations, and we're like super stoked. But then we realize afterwards that, like, we had to change to get out of those situations, and we had to do something for the situation to change. For prime example, my sexual abuse as a child, I had to, like, hug my father while he was naked and say, stop this. This isn't okay. I don't know what this is, but it's not okay. And I love you. I said that to him. I hugged him and was like, oh, I love you. Please stop this. And I think it did actually stop after that. And all I can think about is, like, even with my exes, like, when they were abusive, I had to leave the situation, or I had to make that decision to get out and cut contact or do whatever I needed to get away from that situation. I had to save myself. No one ever called the cops when they saw me getting yelled at or beaten or whatever. No one did that for me. I did that all. So I had to ultimately make the decision on how I was going to be saved and who was going to save me, and ultimately it was always me. I had to save me. And so I think ultimately the big lesson I'm learning today is that no one's going to save me but me. And it reminded me a lot of that Harry Potter movie, where he was trying to save Sirius Black, his godfather, from the Dementors, and this Patronus of light saves him from the Dementors across the lake. And then when him and Hermione go back in time, he's waiting there and he says, my dad's going to come. His Patronus is going to come. Like, he's coming any moment now. Someone is going to come and save me on the other side of the lake, the other him. And it kept happening, and he went up and he did the Patronus. And he finally realized that it wasn't all along, it wasn't his father that had come back and saved him. It had been him saving him the entire time. And it just really, like, struck me as, like, you have to be your own hero. And if you want your situation to change, and if you want to get out of abuse, I'm sorry to say, but no one's coming to save you. You got to do it yourself. And I just think that's, like, such an awesome lesson. And I don't know if that's, like, what J.K. Rowling was going for, but I just think that's, like, super cool that there's this life lesson that I feel like I've learned and reflected on and was able to, like, find that replicated in a movie, and just and to see that happening in a more fictional manner, obviously, but the message still remains clear that ultimately we are our own heroes, and it's up to us to save ourselves from any situation. And if I hadn't asked for my abuse to stop, I'm not sure if it would have. And if I hadn't left those toxic situations, I guarantee you that the mental and emotional, physical, sexual abuse wouldn't have stopped then either. And so I just want to say, like, if anyone is in these scenarios where you're finding yourself being abused, where you're questioning, is this love, where you're being made to cry more than anything else, where there's that hot and cold, well, you're making me do this to you, it's your fault. If you had been a better child, then you wouldn't have been molested, or you're supposed to listen to your parents, or your guardians, or your babysitter says it's a secret, and it's just between you two. No, if it doesn't feel right, and it's not okay with you, then it's not okay. And you need to tell absolutely everybody until somebody listens. Because I told somebody that I trusted and I loved 3 times. And nothing happened. When I was 7, when I was 14, and when I was 21. And they didn't do anything to save me. I trusted them and I loved them. And they told me they were there for me. They told me they would be there with me, they would protect me. But I never got a lock on my door. When I moved back in, I had to sleep on the couch in front of the living room and in front of everyone. So people aren't going to save you. We're going to save themselves first. Ultimately, that's what you have to do too. So it sucks, it's tough, it's going to be the hardest thing you're ever going to have to do. But get out of the situation. Stop the abuse. Tell somebody until somebody listens. Ultimately, use the resources that are out there. Research CASA, Calgary Communities Against Sexual Abuse. Research child abuse hotlines. Research these things and have access to this knowledge for if you ever need it. Please utilize it. Ultimately, you're going to be your own hero, and this princess is saving herself.